Hi everybody. Sitting here on the Ryerson University grounds after seeing the sessions. Missed my first film this morning because of a stupid mix-up with my brother-in-law. So we ended up missing the Central Park 5, which I was really looking forward to. So disappointed about that, but did make it to the second film of today, which is The Sessions. I just saw it at the Ryerson Theater. And this movie really took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting much from it at all. It's one of the, I think it's one of only 2 American films that I'm seeing this year. The other one's a documentary, which I'm seeing tomorrow. Actually, Central Park 5 was American, which I was supposed to see, but I didn't. But anyway, yeah, I underestimated this film, and one of the reasons is because the lead actress in it, Helen Hunt, never really been a fan of hers, and I've always associated her with like TV. What was that sitcom she used to do? Mad About You. That's what it was called. I never watched it, but I always kind of thought of her more as like a TV actress. Never really took her seriously. I haven't seen many of her films. I think I saw some of As Good as It Gets, but not all of it. And from what I remember, she was good in that too. But this film, you know, I really have to give her points. She was excellent in this movie. Very touching performance, very touching story. Like, it started off a little bit kind of like typical lighthearted, quirky American comedy about, you know, a disabled misfit who's got a great attitude towards life. It was kind of like, you know, pat and everything. But then when he started getting into the part about this guy, okay, this was also based on a real life story. Apparently I'm seeing a lot of movies based on real life stories, based on the life of a man, I believe his name was Mark O'Brien, who was pretty much completely disabled, pretty much had to live in an iron lung because he had polio, and the only thing he could really do was speak and swallow and breathe. Well, he couldn't breathe for too long without the aid of this iron lung. He had this portable respirator that he had to use where he could be off the iron lung for like 3 hours at a time at the most. But he was pretty much confined to this iron lung, and he spent his life on this gurney, just being rolled around by his caregivers and stuff like that. Anyway, he's in his, I believe, 40s, late 30s, maybe early 40s, and he's a virgin. He's never had sex before, and he's you know, loves women. He loves beautiful women especially, and he keeps falling in love with all these girls who of course never return his affections because he's this, you know, completely pretty much disabled guy. And so anyway, he wants to experience sex, so he hires a sex surrogate, and that is the character played by Helen Hunt. Now, wow, I mean, it's the whole sex surrogacy thing. I mean, it's really fascinating. I don't think there's too many of them around. I don't know how many of them are out there, but I mean, it's a job. It's an actual job. Like, Helen Hunt, I mean, she doesn't just have sex with this guy. She seems to be like a psychologist and a therapist or something, because after every session with him, she, you know, makes tape recorded notes about her sessions with him, where she notes his psychological state and all this. I mean, she takes this seriously. This is not, you know, this is not fun and games to her where she's making some extra cash on this side. She does this for a living. She really, like, you know, helps people with this, people who are disabled. And she's when it starts off, she tells him she's limited to like 6 sessions with him at the very most. And the first couple, it's pretty comical, because the first 2 or 3, of course, this guy's never had any experience before, so every time she just takes off her clothes, the guy pretty much goes off, and that's it. They can't do anything. But you know, eventually they do end up having, you know, full intercourse and everything, and he does get to experience actual sex. And another thing I really have to give Helen Hunt credit for, she's quite a brave actress to do this role, because it involved a lot of full frontal nudity. She had to be seen completely nude, you know, full on. And you know, she's getting in and out of these sexual positions, and you know, a lot of actresses would probably kind of think twice about doing a role like this, because you're pretty much exposing everything about yourself. So it takes a lot of guts to do a role like this. And so, like I said, I really underestimated her. Not only for her probably for her acting ability, but for her guts and bravery to do a role like this. I mean, it's a hell of a lot more than, doing Mad About You, that's for sure. Anyway, like I said, it was really fascinating because, she's having actual sex with this guy, and it's, at the same time, she's also a professional. She's a therapist, so she can't really allow herself to get emotionally involved. But how can you avoid getting emotionally involved, especially with a person who is so, vulnerable and fragile, and you just want to, protect them and take care of them. And, she certainly does care about him, but she cannot let herself get emotionally involved because this is what she does for a living. So, they have these beautiful, the chemistry between the two of them was fantastic. I forget the name of the actor. I'll put it on my information. He was really good too. He reminded me of that guy from Bob Saget. He looked a lot like Bob Saget. I kept thinking that when I was watching. That's not who it was, but he was a dead ringer for him. And I don't believe he's disabled. I don't know whether I don't know whether he's a disabled actor or not. But if he isn't, he sure did a really convincing job portraying one. It was just a really, really beautiful, sweet, touching movie. Very human, again. Brought me to tears, quite a few times. Some of the scenes. Oh, I have to mention, I cannot let this review finish without mentioning William H. Macy, who has a role as a priest in this movie, because the Mark O'Brien was he was a Catholic, a very fervent Catholic, not so much, all the dogma, but he was a religious guy. He went to church all the time, and I guess he was raised in the Catholic faith, and he had all these paintings of the Virgin Mary in his room and on his iron lung and stuff. So he was definitely a believer, and so anyway, he goes to church and he meets William H. Macy, who took over from the old priest, and they develop a very quick friendship. And William H. Macy is just fantastic in this. He's so funny and nice. He plays this kind of like a really hip kind of priest, and really open-minded, not judgmental, just he offers him an ear, and this guy confesses to him about what he wants to do, consults him about whether he should even hire the sex surrogate, and he tells him to go for it. And he's just great in this role. He's so funny and so nice. Such a really great performance by William H. Macy too. I have to mention that. I always really liked him anyway. Ever since I saw him in Fargo, I was hooked on him. So anyway, I highly recommend The Sessions. It was a great movie. It's going to be coming out for sure, because this is like a real, kind of Hollywood type movie. So you'll get your chance to see it. I recommend it highly. Go see it. You'll enjoy it. It's really, really enjoyable, entertaining. It has comedy. It has drama. It has, very moving, touching scenes. It's a beautiful film, and it was great. So anyway, I am going to see an Indian film called The Bright Day after this. One of my second choices, but it was one of those movies that I kept coming back to in the book because it kind of intrigued me, the description of it. So we'll see how that is. I've never seen an Indian film at Tiff before, so this will be a first. So anyways, I'll see you later. Sessions, 2 thumbs up, really great. And Helen Hunt, I apologize. You were fantastic. Okay, bye.